All right, let's find a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you this morning. Oh, I'm up on a blanket. I'm going to cross my legs. But if that didn't feel good to me for any reason, I could pick something else. It would be fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Beautiful. There we go. It was all crooked. And then let's take the heels of the hands to the upper thighs. It's a little pressed down, lean forward. You know it, you love it. And I find this especially helpful for those of us that do have tightness in the low back at any point, not just on waking, but at any point, right? If you have that tightness, this little press down, lean forward really helps to start to unwind anything that's feeling a little irritated. And then let's go side to side, pressing into one thigh, leaning away, turn to look up at the sky. Oh, and then back through center over to the other side. Let's do it again. Either direction. Make sure it wasn't a fluke. Beautiful. And then coming up to neutral a couple of times. Run the heel of the hand from the hip towards the knee, working your way around the thigh, just getting into the tissue, the musculature, elongation. That's the name of the game. Then hands to the side ribs. Really lift yourself up. Be uplifted by yourself. That's the magic formula. And then turning a little side to side. Just see what's possible. If there is stiffness, tightness, maybe we don't go so far. That's fine. But it is just an exploration. Gorgeous. Then coming back to neutral, let's inhale the arms up in a wide V, stretching through all 10 fingernails. Lift the chin, drop the tailbone, draw the shoulder blades towards each other across the back. Nice. One more deep inhalation here. And then as you exhale, hands float down to the lap, chin comes parallel to the earth beneath you. Go ahead, close the eyes. Going inside. Going inside, noticing how is it in this body this morning. Another week, another Friday, another moment where we get to tune in to where we're at, right? Perhaps you use your morning yoga class as your refresh, your reset. Noticing how is it to be you. We have to do these check-ins, otherwise we lose track, and the next thing we know, weeks have gone by and we're like, where even am I? Right? So do a little wobble left and right, front to back. Just feel your physical structure. That's a good place to start. And then lifting from the base of the skull, let the tailbone be heavy, arm bones heavy. Lift and spread the collarbones. Belly button moves back. Relaxing the palms of the hands. Softening the jaw, the teeth, the tongue. Noticing the cheekbones. Could you broaden there? Can you relax the eyes in their sockets? Can you spread the eyebrows? And can you relax the skin at the forehead? Beautiful. And then relax the inner ears. Nice. And now find your breath. Find your next inhalation. Find your next exhalation. What happens when we slow it down in order to be in connection with our own rhythms. Right? Sometimes springtime can feel like a ramping up of things, right? We've been in our kind of hibernation of the winter, and all of a sudden it's sunny out, and there's all these things that we're drawn to do outside or in our lives, and it's nice to be able to take an opportunity, no matter how briefly, just to slow down. Just to focus on something simple, just the breath. Inhalation, exhalation. Beautiful. Let's bring the hands together in front of the heart. Lift the sternum to the base of the thumbs, broaden the collarbones, make the tailbone heavy. And then we're going to chant the sound of Om together 3 times and then invocate. Go ahead, exhale fully, let go of all the breath you currently have. And then inhale fully to begin. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvina Vaditamastu, Ma Vidvashavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Nice. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, let the chin come towards the chest, right? We're sealing in whatever intention, whatever desire, whatever need, whatever bubbles to the surface. Sort of sealing it in, introspecting, right? How is it? What do we need? Can we be aware? Maybe it's just that we're aware of the possibility that we need something. Maybe the actual need doesn't come quite to the surface, and that's okay as well. And then releasing the hands to the lap. Let's flutter the eyelids open, taking in form and color. And then as you feel ready, you're going to raise the gaze, and as we've been doing, you're going to look out. Don't look at the camera, don't look at the screen. Look out. If you've got a window to look out of, you look out the window. I'm noticing it's a beautiful puffy cloud, blue sky day here today in Richmond, Maine. How lucky are we? And then if you've got art in your room, maybe you take a moment to appreciate that. And then coming back to our screen, we're going to extend the legs, and then I'd like you to have a belt. Oh, just grabbing my belt off my block stack. We're going to take the belt around the balls of the feet here, and I'll back up a smidge so you can see me in the camera. But we're taking the belt right around the balls of the feet. And it's fine if you still have socks on. I've got my legs hips distance apart, and I'm actually pressing the outer edge of the ball of my foot into the strap a little bit, not aggressively, but just enough to give a little bit of energy to the legs, holding onto the strap in both hands. And I'm right up on my sits bones, right up on my sits bones. The tailbone is heavy. I'm reaching through the crown of the head. My elbows are bent slightly out to the sides of the room to bring spaciousness there. Dandasana, right? Supported Dandasana. It's nice. Think of lifting the sternum away from the belly button. And then both sides of the strap are going to go in the left hand. The trick I always use, and I don't know if you can see it, is I like to take my index finger in between both sides of the strap, and then with the rest of my hand I hold on around that, and it seems to defray any tension that might have otherwise arisen in my hand. I don't know which word to use there. Haha. Let's inhale that right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, we're turning to the right. The arm comes down to shoulder height. I'm running into a wall, so I'm bending my elbow. But if you can fully extend the arm and have the fingers long, you do that. And so we're trying to turn right on our axis line. So I'm actually bending my left elbow so that I can stay right on my plumb line. So if I keep the arm straight, oh no, I'm leaning back. If I bend it too much, I'm leaning forward. So I've got to find that sweet spot. I'm still pressing the outer feet into the strap, navel back, tailbone heavy, crown of head reaching. Nice, full breath here. And then on your next inhale, we're going to come back to neutral. You're going to lift that right arm straight up towards the sky. And then exhale, we'll change sides. So now the right hand takes the strap. I've got the index finger in between. I'm going to inhale that left arm up, 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 get super long. And then from that length, as you exhale, we turn. Right elbow bends out to the right. Left arm comes to shoulder height. If you can keep the arm fully extended, you do it. If you're running into something like I am, the elbow will bend. That's okay. Then are you on your plumb line? Did you start to lean a little back? That's natural. You have to engage a bit through the abdominal core to be able to keep yourself on your plumb line. Nice. Breathing in, breathing out. Gorgeous. One more full breath. And then on your next inhalation, we come back to neutral. We lift the arm up towards the sky, and then we exhale to release. Undo the strap, put it to the side. You might scooch off your support here. We're going to bend the knees, take them wide, and do a little side-to-side action with the knees. Right? Feel pretty much like a release after that twisting. I think it's very useful. Nice. Then we're going to come down into a chest opener, blanket and block, the one that we know so well, right? So I'm rolling up my blanket nice and tight. Going to take it horizontally across my mat. Then I've got my block for my head. I'm clearing space around me so that when I come down, I can take my arms out in a T shape. So I'm lining up the bottom tip of my shoulder blades with that blanket. Arms go out to the sides. Knees might be bent for the beginning. They might stay bent, but they're definitely bent at the beginning as you sort yourself out. Maybe you're picking up and replacing things. Maybe you're rocking a little side to side. Gorgeous. And then once you've settled in, this might be where you decide to extend the legs. And so you might just try it out. Extending the legs one at a time. If you get there and it's like, oh, my low back is not feeling it this morning, then you'll keep the knees bent. Big toes move towards each other, knees fall into each other. Those of you with legs extended, you're rolling the big toes slightly towards each other, getting a similar spreading of the sacrum, getting a similar spreading of the low back. So if there's tightness there, stiffness there, you might still have the knees bent with the knees falling into each other. It's a really nice way to work. Nice. Chin's moving towards the chest. And then just because we can, why not? Let's take the head a little slowly from left to right. We've got that block, so we actually end up getting a little bit of traction through the shoulders, through the sides of the neck. And that was, I think that was last week that so many people were coming to me with neck stiffness. Then bringing the head back to neutral, let's lift the arms up towards the sky, taking opposite hand to opposite forearm, and then you're either taking the forearms clear overhead, right? That's a nice way to work if the shoulders allow, but if they don't, the forehead makes a fabulous shelf. And then if neither of those are working, you need to release the arms back out to the sides. You do it, no bother. It's okay. You're still getting the benefit of this shape. Deep, full breaths into the lung tissue. Notice if the chin lifted when the arms went overhead or to the forehead, wherever they ended up. If your legs are extended, inner heels are reaching forward, big toes rolling towards each other. And I'm only bringing that up again because I realized my legs had reverted back to just kind of hanging out. Lower frontal ribs turn down towards the earth for everyone. And then notice, is there tension in the throat? Could you release it? Tension in the jaw, could you soften? All right, make a mental note of which forearm is on top. On your next inhale, you're going to reach your arms behind you, palms of the hands face each other. You're like an upside down superhero. And then as you exhale, you switch the interlace of the arms. Now, this might mean you need to use the forehead. Might mean that this is the side that doesn't need the forehead. We have no way of knowing till we try it. It might be different today than it was yesterday. All things are valid, my friends. Right? Sometimes they may be surprising, but they're valid. Could you relax the eyes? Finding the full rhythm of breath here. Long, full, steady inhalations, complete exhalations. Gorgeous. Then on your exhalation, release the arms out and down, back out into that T shape. Everyone bends the knees, bringing the feet to the floor, mats distance apart. And then we're taking the knees side to side, just like before, but now we can take the head in opposition. Knees go left, head goes right, and vice versa. Slowly but surely unwinding the body. This can be nice on the low back. It's also nice on the upper back. So if you want to move around in any way that feels useful, feel free. If you want to linger on one side or the other, it's all absolutely welcome. Nice. And then when you feel ready, you're going to roll all the way to one side. Use the hands to help yourself up, help yourself out. Have a block nearby, and then fold your blanket so you've got head support. We're going to work a little bit on Tailor's pose, and then we'll do a little bit of a core sequence. But I want us to have a nice support underneath the head and neck for the moment. And then coming down, nothing underneath you except for that blanket under the head and neck. And now when we have that space that we created in the thoracic spine, often when we come back down on the floor, there is that sensation of spaciousness that feels a little more tangible. And so you have that now. Relax the arms down by your side, and once again, take the head from side to side, releasing any tension. Nice. All right, from here, let's draw the right knee into the chest, squeeze it towards the chest. If you have to hold on behind the thigh, that's fine. Always depends on the health and happiness of the knee, but we're just compressing the leg towards the chest. Notice the tendency for the chin to lift up towards the sky. Don't let it happen. Keep the shoulder blades relaxed on the floor. Then releasing that left arm to the floor beside you, take the right hand to the bent right knee, and let's start to steer the knee around in a circle. We've done this in the past, and we're trying to let the pelvis rock from side to side on this one. So right now, the pelvis is moving freely. We're not trying to control it. We're just letting it do whatever it needs to do. Nice full breaths. Go both directions, so a few times in one way, a few times in the other. And then I'm going to let go of the knee, but I'm not going to stop the circle, but I am going to stop the rocking of the pelvis. How do you do that? Well, one of the ways to do that is to press the sole of your left foot strongly into the floor. Another way to do that is to draw the navel to the spine, pubic bone to belly button. And it might mean that you need to make smaller or slower circles with the knee. Nice. And then let's extend the leg. So now I'm extending the leg up towards the sky. I'm pointing the toes like a ballerina, like your whole leg is one big pencil. And then we're making circles on the ceiling with our toes. And these might be very big circles. They might be very small circles. We're still trying to keep the pelvis relatively quiet, right? So there's a bit of core control here. We're breathing. I know it's very tempting to hold the breath. We're trying to stay nice and long through the knee. So I'm trying not to bend the knee, and that might mean that my circles are more towards being in front of me than up at the sky. That's okay. Make sure you're changing directions. You might even be playing around with different sizes. Maybe one's a big circle, one's a small circle. Nice. And then from here, we're going to flex the foot. So now my heel bone is reaching up, 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 and I'm still making circles, still trying to keep the pelvis quiet. Relax the jaw. I know there's this connection between the pelvis and the jaw. Beautiful. And then bending the knee out to the side, outer right ankle, top of the left knee. We're going into Tailor's pose. Now this is going to look different for everyone. You're just going to kind of choose your own adventure here. That right foot lightly flexed for everyone. Some folks, you're going to keep the left foot on the floor. I think you should heel toe it towards the center of your mat so you feel a little bit more balanced. And then you might just push your right hand into your right thigh, pushing it away. For some people, that's enough stretch. Others, they need to add a block. I like to hold the medium block in my hands and use that to push the thigh away. Still others are going to gather that left thigh towards them, either interlacing their hands or, if you need to, use a strap behind the back of that left thigh. The reason you would use a strap is if when you went to interlace your hands behind the thigh, your head, neck, and shoulders started to peel off the mat. That's a really good indication that you need to use a little more length in the arms. If both feet are off the earth, both feet are lightly flexed. Everyone squares their hips towards the wall in front of them. And for most people, that means you need to move the outer right hip away from the outer right rib cage. Tailor's pose. This is a choose your own adventure shape for sure. You can make it more or less intense by how close the legs come to your body. But keep the tailbone heavy. I don't want you to peel the lower back off the earth to get the legs closer. And then if it feels interesting, you're going to slowly start to shift the legs from left to right. Slow motion. It's possible in one direction or the other you find something that feels useful. And if you do, the invitation is to hang out. Don't go quickly side to side. It's not about rocking the legs, although sometimes that can feel nice on the low back. What I really want you to do is find what usually is a gluteal stretch. And spoiler alert, for most people, it's when you take the legs to the left. So you've got the right leg on top. It's when you take the legs to the left that you start to get that stretch through the right gluteal muscle. Take another breath wherever you are. Yes, then inhale, come back to neutral. Exhale, release the feet and the arms to the floor. Pause before you do any kind of letting go actions. And then just for giggles, let's take the head and the knee in opposition and just see what's going on. The two sides feel very different now. That's to be expected. That's to be expected. Nice. Okay, let's do all of that to the second side. Right foot's going to stay on the floor. Exhale, left knee into the chest, either interlacing the hand over the shin or folding the hands between the thigh and the calf. Again, shoulder blades are relaxed, back of the neck nice and long. We're just taking a few moments to release any tension from the low back. Get a little compression in the body. There's nothing wrong with that. And then as you feel ready, the right arm comes to the floor beside you. Left hand takes hold of the bent left knee, and we start to circle. For now, the pelvis is allowed to rock. Let it be free, especially if there's been stiffness, tightness. Kind of letting everything slosh about. It's very freeing. It's very satisfying. Don't hold the breath if you can. Remember to inhale, exhale. And you're changing directions every few passes. Yeah. Nice. From here, we are going to let go of the knee, but we're going to keep the circles going. And now we're endeavoring to keep the pelvis quiet, relatively speaking. So I'm pressing that right sole of foot into the earth. Trying to keep that connection, trying to draw navel to spine, pubic bone to belly button. So interesting. It can be very different on one side to the other. And then let's go ahead and extend the leg, pointing through the toes, lengthening through the knee. And then we're making circles from the hip socket. And so it's a different leg, different side. It might require you to act a little differently, to move a little bit differently. That's fine. All the rules are still there. So trying to keep the pelvis quiet, jaw relaxed. You're making these circles as big or as small. They might be tiny. That's okay. They might be very big. That's fine. Right? Just depends. You have to play around with it and see where you're at today. Nice full breaths. And then flexing the foot, reaching through the heel bone, still making those circles, just now with that heel leading the charge. Makes the work a little different in the leg, yeah? Gorgeous. And then bending the knee out to the left, outer left ankle on the top of the right thigh, Tailor's pose. And we're figuring it out. So some of you, you'll heel toe that right foot towards the center of the mat. You'll use your left hand to push the left thigh away, or you add your block. Or you're gathering that right thigh towards you, interlacing the hands behind the thigh, squaring the hips towards the wall in front of you, lengthening the neck, both feet lightly flex now. And then slowly, slowly shifting the weight from side to side. Breathing here. Just playing around. Right? Seeing how it is. Maybe you're lingering on one side or the other. So when I go to the right, I feel what feels like very useful stretches happening in my left glute, my left thigh. And now you might be feeling it other places. That doesn't mean it's wrong. But sometimes it's helpful to describe what's happening in someone else's body just so you can kind of get an idea of what's possible, what it might look like or feel like. Nice. Inhaling back to neutral. Exhale. Releasing the feet back to the earth, arms to the side. Pause before you do any kind of releasing. Just notice sensation wherever it is. And when you feel ready, knees and head in opposition once again. Perhaps you feel more balanced now. Maybe there's less stretch, less stiffness in the low back. Excuse me. Gorgeous. And then I just want to do that quick undulation pattern while we're here. And so I'm bringing my feet, making sure they're hips distance apart. I'm interlacing my hands behind the back of my head. I've still got the blanket there. That extra little bit of height really helps. Elbows out to the side. It's all very civilized. We'll start with the inhale, and as I inhale, I'm turning my tailbone towards the earth. I'm lifting my chin, my head slides in my hands, and I'm looking over my eyebrows. Then as I exhale, I tilt my tailbone towards the sky. I start to peel my upper torso off the floor. The head stays heavy in the hands. And then I go back and forth, inhaling, tailbone down, chin lifts, look over the eyebrows. Exhale, curl it up, navel to spine, elbows wrap in towards the sides of the head. So slow motion, back and forth. Right? You're making it as big or as small as feels good to you. You are 100% in charge of this experience. Right? So if it needs to be smaller, maybe you're only coming up a half an inch, that's fine. Others, perhaps you're getting the entirety of the shoulder blades off the earth. Right? We're just seeing. Now I'm keeping the head very heavy in the hands as I peel the upper torso off the floor. I'm not cranking the neck or anything like that. And then I'm going to give you an option to add on if you want. Next time you come up, as you exhale, the invitation is to take the knees towards the elbows. Then as you inhale to come down, that remains the same. So I'm exhaling, bringing both the knees towards the elbows, elbows towards knees. And then I'm inhaling, that's exactly the same. You might choose not to do it all, that's fine. You could even do one knee at a time, right? So you can play around. It's really up to you. Nice. Couple, 2, 3 more. Not going to stay here long. Just want to keep that core engagement as part of our routine. It's so important to maintain. Let's do one more just for giggles. Nice. And then let's extend the legs long, the arms out to the sides, a little starfish stretch, reaching through the heel bones, reaching through the fingertips, breathing here. And then exhale, draw everything into the center, wrap your arms around your legs, a little rocking from side to side. And then let's massage the low back, hands on both kneecaps. Now taking both legs around in a circle. So we did both legs separately. Now we're doing them together. Very different experience. Nice. And then rolling all the way to one side. We're coming to table pose. Now would be a great time to take your socks off if you still have them on. We will need a little traction through the feet here momentarily. If you need padding for the knees, feel free to take it. Otherwise, we're coming down. Palms of the hands, heels of the hands directly underneath the shoulders. Knees directly underneath the hips. Spine is long. Taking cat and cow, inhaling, lifting the tailbone, lifting the chin, exhaling, navel to spine. So this is exactly the same as what we were just doing on our back. Right? It can be so interesting to do them right after the other. So you can feel that difference, right? When we're working in this action, we're freeing up the spine, we're releasing tension. Same exact actions, totally different result. One more time, either direction. And then coming back to neutral now, we're going to take the knees a little bit wider than the hips. So now the knees are wide, big toes are moving towards each other. We're going to keep your left hand planted on the earth. Then we're going to inhale that right arm up towards the sky. So I'm either taking my elbow, or if the shoulder allows for it, I'm lengthening my entire arm up towards the sky. Then on the exhale, I'm scooping the arm underneath the body like I'm serving something to the person next to me. Inhale, either elbow or full arm. Look up if you can. Exhale, curling under the body. It's like this wringing out, this squeezing of the body. You're going back and forth at your breath pace. Might be faster or slower than mine. Playing around. We'll get an opportunity to stay here in a moment. Nice. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale. As you come under, I want you to bend the left elbow and start to lower the right side of your head and your right shoulder to the floor. And if this isn't working, or you feel like you need a little padding for the head, hopefully your blanket is right there. You can scoot it underneath your head. Otherwise, head is on the floor. Got a couple of options here in our thread the needle pose. You can stay exactly as you are with your left hand directly in front of your face, or you can lift your left arm up towards the sky, bend the elbow, and tuck the fingers underneath the top of your right thigh, or kind of over the top of your right thigh. It feels underneath because it's underneath your torso. If that's causing any problems at all, you just release it. You don't have to stay, but maybe you try it just to see. Nice. Taking a few breaths here. And then we'll go to the other side. So we lift that left arm up towards the sky. Plant the left hand in front of your face and you push the floor away, sliding that right arm back out from underneath you. And then the right hand plants on the earth. Good job. Let's do that left side. Inhaling, elbow, or maybe it's the full arm, up, up, up. Exhale, underneath the body like you're serving something to the person next door. Inhaling, up, 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 beautiful. Exhale, serve it underneath, squeezing, wringing out the lungs, the abdomen. So good. A couple more like this. Your pace is your own. You're finding your rhythm with it. And then just as we did on the first side, we're going to stay. So inhaling up, exhaling under the body, and then bending that right elbow, slowly lowering yourself down. If you need the blanket for the head, feel free to take it. And then you're assessing, do you want to stay right where you are, or do you think it's possible to lift that right arm up towards the sky, bend the elbow behind the back, and maybe thread the fingers over the top of that left thigh. Maybe that doesn't feel good. You don't have to do it, but there's the opportunity. Breathing here. Softening the throat and the eyes. Gorgeous. Then as you feel ready, we'll come out, lifting that right arm up, up, up. Planting the right hand in front of the face, and then pushing the floor away to come up, to come out. Gorgeous. Well done. Moving towards Adho Mukha Svanasana now. I'm taking my hands shoulders distance apart and just slightly in front of the shoulders. We're going to bend the elbows out to the side, scoop the elbows underneath the body, and then lift the shoulders away from the wrists. From here, we tuck the toes under, push the floor away, lift the hips up and back. If you're not weight bearing today, you want to take it to a surface, that's absolutely fine. Wherever you are, give yourself a moment to pedal out the feet. Bending one knee, then the other. This works even if you're in an L shape at the wall or a counter. Feels so nice. So I'm rolling all the way to the very tip of my toes and then back down through the foot. In this way, we're getting some foot mobility. right? We don't always work on that as much. And I think, well, I mean, we do in this class, but I think what's really important is to have that capacity to roll through the feet, right? Nice. And then let's lift up onto the tippy toes of both feet and then drag the heels down and back. Don't drop the skull below the line of the bicep. Keep lifting up, up, up off the shoulders. And then just for giggles today, let's walk the hands towards the feet to come to standing forward bend. Yes. Soften the knees a smidge. Let the torso be heavy. Maybe you shake the head a little no, a little yes. And then hooking the thumbs into the hip creases. Draw the hips back, lengthen the spine. Inhale here. Then exhale, draw the navel back to bring yourself back to standing. Good job. Well done. Ah, we made it. Let's roll the shoulders. Forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. Good job, everybody. Okay. So let's take our 2 tall blocks to the end of our mat. I want to work with a cheeky little sequence that is standing Tailor's pose to kind of a Virabhadrasana 3 variation. We've done it before. It's kind of fun. I like to do it in springtime especially because it builds a little heat and it clears out the stagnation that we might have built up. And so I'm going to stay turned to the front for the moment, but you're going to face your blocks because I just want you to see. We're going to soften both knees, and then you're going to lift that right foot off the floor, turn the right knee out to the side, and you might have to use your hands to get it, but I want you to take your right ankle on top of that left thigh. And so I have to bend my knees quite a bit to do this, and if balance is an issue, I could absolutely be next to a wall or have a chair next to me, and so if I was using support but I needed to hold on to my leg, I would hold on to my leg with the right hand and have my left hand on the chair or the wall or whatever I need. And I know you kind of can't see it. My hand is on a wall, I promise. Beautiful. And so we're lengthening up as best we can. And so we might be at an angle, navel back. That right foot is flexed. I'm pushing the outer ankle into the top of my left thigh. If you can, hands come together at heart center. Gorgeous. We're going to inhale here. Then as you exhale, I want you to start to hinge forward. Hands are going to come to the blocks, right? Your back might be slightly rounded. That's okay. Then we're going to unhook that right leg from the top of the thigh and extend the right leg behind us. Yes, it's like a little donkey kick. Gorgeous. You're still with me. All right, listen carefully. You're going to bend the left knee, step the right toes down. Make sure you feel firm. We're going to see what happens. I want you to press strongly into that left foot. So perhaps you could inhale, coming up to a lunge, lifting the arms overhead. Right? We're just curious. Can that back right leg straighten? Gorgeous. Exhale, come down. Hands come back to the blocks. You're going to step on that left foot, raise the right leg back up to hip height. Then we're going back the way we came. So I'm bringing the right knee forward, turning the right knee out to the side. I have to get that right ankle back up on the left thigh. I just used my left hand to help me. And then here's the tricky part. We're going to see, could we take our hands off the block to bring the hands back to heart center, lifting the torso up any amount. Take a deep inhale. And then exhale, release, both feet on the ground. Woo, that was an adventure. Take a little walk around. Maybe you learned something from the first side. You need different support. It wouldn't be bad to have a chair seat in front of you if the blocks felt like they were too far away. Or maybe you have 2 sets of blocks. You could put flat blocks underneath your tall blocks. And we're going to do the other side. Luckily, we only have 1 more leg. All right. So planting the feet well. Let's take the hands to the hips just for a moment and soften the knees. Lift up through the crown of the head. Nice. Then start to transfer the weight into that right foot. We're picking the left foot off the floor, bending the knee out to the left, and then I have to reach down to catch that ankle and bring it up onto the thigh. I think that's probably pretty universal for most people. Keep the hips squared to the wall in front of you. If you need to hold on to the leg, hold on to it with your left hand. Maybe the right hand is on surface. Keep breathing, navel back, lifting through the crown of the head. You're lengthening the spine, even if it's at a slight angle forward. Gorgeous. One more inhale here. Then as you exhale, you start to hinge forward with the torso so that the hands can come to the blocks. See if you could move your heart away from your belly button any amount. That might just be a thought, might not actually happen, that's okay. And then we're unhooking that left ankle from the right thigh and donkey kicking it behind us. Both legs straighten, hips are squared towards the floor. Gorgeous. Navel to spine, reach through the crown of the head. And then we're bending the right knee, reaching back, back, back with those left toes to find the earth. Gorgeous. And then I have to press strongly through that right foot so that I can inhale and lift the arms up towards the sky. Take a breath here, back leg straight, front knee bent. One more inhale, maybe you look up. Then as you exhale, we're coming down and forward, hands find the blocks. I have to still strongly press through that right foot so that I can lift the left leg back up to hip height. Square the hips to the floor. Then we're slowly bringing that left knee through. We're turning the left knee to the left. I reach with my right hand to find the ankle and put it up on the right thigh. Steady as she goes, hands come to heart center. Let's see, could you lift the torso? One more inhale. And then exhale, release. Good job. Walk around. Woo, that was a whole thing. That was a whole thing. Let's quickly take something symmetrical. Parivrtta Dandasana. Taking the back heels to the back long edge of your mat. Turn the big toes towards each other slightly. Hands on blocks underneath the shoulders. Press the big toe ball mound outer heel. Then walk your blocks forward. Nice, that'll stretch out the low back. Indeed, let's take the blocks over to the right. So you're staying long. Outer left hip moves back. You're reaching through the arms. Nice, and then walking the blocks back through center over to the left. Outer right hip now has to move back, back, back. And then blocks back to center. Let's set up for the head. Maybe you're using one flat block or two flat blocks or a couple of different configurations. Letting the head come down, shoulder blades move away from the back of the neck. Kneecaps lift up, up, up on the thighs. We're spiraling the inner thigh towards the wall behind us. Gorgeous. Long, steady inhalation. Full exhalation. Then hands underneath the shoulders, straighten the arms. We're going to heel toe the feet back together, coming back down onto the earth. We're going to sit together and do a little Janu Shirshasana real quick. So find your blanket, find your strap. This will feel good after all the work that we've done. So legs are extended in front. If you need to put your socks back on, your feet feel cold, feel free to do it. I'm just ironing the legs out a little bit. We didn't do that in the beginning like we normally do, and I'm finding that I missed it. Maybe you do too. Nice. And then as you feel ready, you've got your sits bones planted. We're going to come inside the right knee, hook the right knee out to the right, and draw the heel in towards the pelvis. If this right knee is not comfortably seated on the floor, I want you to put padding underneath it. Okay, and then I'm going to take my hands behind me. I'm diagonally leaning away from that right knee. Yes, so I'm kind of leaning back diagonally away from that right knee, trying to move that right knee down so it's lengthening from the inner groin to the inner knee. Nice. Then listen carefully. We're going to inhale that right arm up towards the sky, and like you're casting a line up, out, and over towards the outer edge of that left foot. Now, if I cannot reach my left foot, I would take a strap. So we're trying to go towards the outer edge, and then we have to lift up from the sternum, right? From the bottom to the top of the sternum, we lift up. And so that might mean that I have the strap and I'm more here. But my left hand is still behind me, diagonally away from that right knee. I've got the strap if I need it. It's a bit of a turning, right? Nice. And then we're going to square our torso towards that left foot. Now both hands reaching towards the foot or the strap. Inhale to lengthen the torso, and then exhale, come down any amount. Coming down any amount. Yes, nice. Still the outer right knee is pressing down, 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 either into the floor or whatever surface you're on. Nice. Inhale, come up halfway. Reach the arms forward. Then exhale, navel to spine takes you back up. Lift the arms, turn the palms away. Exhale, take the hands down. Good job. Scoop up underneath that knee, extend the leg. Let's do that to the second side. So I come inside the left knee, I hook it out to the left. Then I reach down, take the ankle, and I draw that foot in as close as it will go. I can try to press that left knee down, but if it's not comfortably on the earth, I add support. Then I take the hands behind me, and it's a little bit like lounging at the beach, right? You're leaning diagonally away from that left thigh. Tailbone lifts slightly, right? There's this little nutation of the pelvis. Beautiful. And then right hand stays where it is. I lift my left arm up towards the sky. Inhale, get long. And then exhale like you're casting a fishing line towards the outer right foot, or you're picking up the strap. Once you get contact on strap or foot, then you lift from the bottom to the top of the sternum. Right? That helps you press that outer left thigh down. And it's a bit of a twisting action. Yes, especially through the back body. Take another breath here. And as you exhale, come back, take hold of the foot or the strap with both hands. Inhale, get long. And exhale, forward bend any amount. Long, steady breaths here. Nice. Then we inhale up halfway. We reach the arms forward. Then exhale, navel to spine is what brings us back up. Turn the palms away. Strongly press the air down around you. All right? You're using lots of energy. Coming underneath that leg, let's extend it once again, ironing out, root to shoot. And then we're coming down onto the back body. I'd like you just for a moment to take the pelvis up on one flat block. So I know sometimes we do higher blocks. Today we're just going to do one flat block. Come all the way down onto your back body. Press the feet down, lift the hips. I've got that flat block underneath me. Rolling the shoulder blades towards each other so there's a rolling of the outer upper arm bones down towards the earth. Back of the neck is long. Nice. And then just because we can, let's exhale the knees into the chest. Inhale the feet up towards the sky. So we're taking a very small, short inversion. Just want to give us a chance to be upside down with just a little height. Just a little height. Nice. We're not going to stay here long. Breathing into the back of the neck, breathing into the low back. Nice. Exhale, bending the knees. Inhale, bring the feet to the floor, and then those that can, extend the legs one at a time. We're still on that flat block. Bringing the backs of the heels to the earth. Rolling the big toes towards each other. Pressing the outer shoulders down. Pressing the heel bones down. Lengthening through the front body. Little Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. And then bending the knees one at a time. Feet come to the floor. Press the feet down. Lift the hips. Take that block out. Final thing before Shavasana. Exhale. Draw the knees into the chest. A little rocking from side to side. Smoothing out any tension in the back body. Let the head go with. And then hands on the bent knees. Steer the knees around in a circle. A few times in one direction. A few times in the other. Nice, and then let's set up for Shavasana. Maybe you take the flat blocks underneath the backs of the knees, the backs of the thighs. Maybe you take that blanket behind the back of the head and the neck. But find your final Shavasana meditation pose. Let's open the mouths wide, stick the tongue out. Stretch the tongue, stretch the throat, stretch the jaw. Nice, and then taking the tongue back into the mouth, bring just the lips back to touch. And then let go yourself completely. Let loose yourself completely. Let yourself rest here in stillness and silence, knowing now there's nothing to do. Letting one strand of your awareness come back to hear my voice. If you need or want more Shavasana, you are welcome to stay right where you are for as long as you'd like. Others, you're time bound or you're ready to move. And if that's you, you're going to start to just deepen the breath. Start slow. Don't be in a hurry to pop up. Just deepen the breath and bring little tiny movements back to the fingers. Back to the toes, back to the ankles and the wrists. Nice. And then as you feel ready on an exhalation, you'll draw the knees back up into the chest. Give yourself a hug. Give yourself a squeeze. And then very slowly, very mindfully roll to your right side and pause there just for a moment, feeling the earth beneath you, noticing its stability, noticing its constancy. And then the head's going to be the last thing to arrive. The eyes remain closed, but you're going to use your hands now to push yourself back up to a seated position. Stacking the vertebrae back on top of each other, skull on top of the spine, tailbone descending. Let's take the hands together in front of the heart. Lift the sternum, broaden the collarbones, and on an exhalation, let the chin move forward and down, bowing to the seat of the soul. Bowing to that divine inner wellspring of kindness, compassion, patience, and joy. The light in me is deeply honored by your light, grateful for your practice, and humbled by your presence. And in case no one's told you yet today, I love you, and I'm convinced of your capacity to continue crafting a life worth living. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste. Namaste. Good job, everybody. Way to go on the adventure this